Did you know Jesus defines Holy Spirit? In Mark chapter 13, verse 11, the yellow highlighted text that you see, Jesus teaches sometimes the words people say are not their own words. The words are from or by Holy Spirit. And in Matthew chapter 10, verse 20, Jesus teaches, Holy Spirit is our Father's word speaking from your mouth. Now, I did some editing in the blue and green highlighting, and the word in, and I had to add the word through, because we have 4 examples of our Father's words. The first example, Luke chapter 1, verse 67, tells us when Zacharias declared John's the Baptist's life, these words had to be said by our Creator, for he prophesied John's life. The second example we have is Luke chapter 1, verse 41, when out of Elizabeth's mouth she declared Mary's son is blessed. These 2 verses prove their words were our Creator's words coming from their mouths. The third and fourth example are in Luke chapter 12, verse 12, and Matthew chapter 12, verse 28, where Jesus teaches our Creator's words will be said in their mind, and then they are to say his words. Other examples of our Creator's words coming to their mind are in the Hebrew text, where the prophets are being told to go out, and then our Creator will tell them what to say. Thus, Jesus teaches us there is no Trinity. I'm going to show you how I am editing the text to prove that the first writers wrote text, and those that are editing the Bible for probably, or the text of the Bible for probably about 2,400 years have added all the text that I'll be removing. This is from the last chapter that I did, and what I do here, and this is a 3 verse, where's my mouse? Okay, oh, I was on the wrong screen when I put that on there. A 3 verse format. This is a statement. This verse is a statement, so I put a period. And then there's a comma and a period where these 2 join together to make a sentence. I tried to put 2, the format is 2 important words connected together with the least amount of words. So this is what you're seeing here, okay? Now, this becomes a small paragraph right here. And when it has a following format that is so close to this first paragraph, I usually try to tell people that this becomes a larger paragraph. And then I put a double space, and you can see that it repeats itself. Now, where I left off was Rehoboam was a king, and now he's going to die. And then he's going to be buried with his forefather, and his son Asa, his son, become king and rule in his place. So what we also have is Jeroboam. Okay, now who are these kings? So let me bring that up. And my king's timeline is from our Creator's Hidden Formats, which I will be doing next. But it took me probably a good part of 1.5 years to figure this text out, or the order. And what I was just pointing to was Rehoboam, and then his son Asa is going to be king, and Jeroboam is king for Israel. Now this is going to be his son, and then this guy is going to take over, so you got an idea of what's going to come up in the text. Now, the one other thing you should note or know is that Israel is now in 2 groups. This will be Israel as a nation, 10 tribes, and here is a nation, Judah. Now, you have to keep that in mind in kind of the territory in the boundaries. Now we'll have other maps to put together when things happen in the text to keep you informed, because that helps me edit the text and make it true. Just like this says, now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam. So let me bring up this here again, and what I'm seeing here is this is, I have him 22 years, so his lifespan is from here to here. Now here it was 18 years, and it's gonna say this guy became king. Okay, so that's how this timeline is. It's not actually scaled correctly. It's scaled to make sure that the text is related to each other. Now in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, now this is a 3-verse, I try to just start out by cutting it as a 3-verse. His son, oops, I'm adding and I'm removing. His son from, and this is wrong. He only had one wife. This is trying to make it a second wife. So above what I have is text that she disguised herself. Jero disguised herself and went to a prophet. So I think maybe I don't have her name. He said that the wife of Jeroboam. Okay. So this is supposed to be her name. Now these are all subject to change later when I put the text together, but what you see how they done it down here, they've changed her name. So if I put her name in here, oops, like this, then I would say, and I actually think this is their son's name as well. So it's kind of confusing right now, but I will correct that later. I'm right now trying to find the formats. And when I get all these books together, I will be making one complete book. And it'll be in order of what the text tells me what happened from time to time. So I'm going to put her name in here, or this name up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it yellow, because I don't know. I've got a problem with that, and I know when the text, I take it next time, I want to make sure that I correct which is the correct name. And it says his son from her became king over Judah, and that's not true. Right now, it's Rehoboam is over Judah, and then Asa, his son's going to be over Judah. So Jeroboam, and then this is going to be his son that rules over Israel. So, and he reigned 3 years in Jerusalem. This is not true at all here. So a lot of this text, I'm not sure is just made up or not. I do know the first true atheists that started re-editing the text knew that they wrote in columns, and they would have seen this beautiful format, and they started corrupting it by taking other text and putting it in and changing names and that type of thing. So sometimes It's when I've removed, you can see that that person knew that the format was there, and it looks like it's happening here again. He reigned 3 years in Jerusalem in his mother's name, but we already have that here. So again, they're trying to change the name again. So if I go down here, he walked in the sins of his father and committed before him holy. His heart was not wholly devoted to why he is greater, like the heart of David. For David's sake, he gave him a lamp in Jerusalem and raised up a son after him to establish Jerusalem. So we technically, when we're looking here, we know that who the king's son is just by the text that I just got done editing. And here, this text I thought is what I was going to do now, and he would be over Jerusalem, or he'd be over Israel. So Nebet. So let's see here again. $18. This would have been for King Jerusalem. Became king over Jerusalem. Now, I think you've seen enough of me, so I'm going to put up the Psalms here, and then that way, those that are now a little bit bored of what I'm doing, there's Psalms here that I've done, and these are all about Jesus, and you'll see the coloring of the lettering to respect our Creator's words, and then Jesus is in red, and I will continue to edit over here. And at the end of the video, if you want to just go right down to the end, I will have this text cleaned up, and I'll try to make sure it's slow enough that if you want to take screenshots or just wait, and I will put it up as a PDF, but right now I've got only PDF mentioned in the comments on Twitch, and on YouTube they're in the description. So now in the 10 and 18th year for this guy here, his son from her. What if I take this and put that here? And say, this is the guy, this is the king. And then, because the first writer might have wrote it something like this. And then this, they would have confused the words by just changing the two letters here. Okay. Became king over not Judah, but Israel. And now Israel, I have many different ways to know the different writer or who they are, at what state they are in for the name. And it could be the name Israel. Jacob's name become Israel. When it's used in all small caps and bold, that means that the nation has been divided into two, or the kingdom, or our Creator's nation, Israel, which would be all capital letters, not in bold. But if it was bold in all capital letters, then Israel was good at that time because Israel has a few good kings. But right now, Jeroboam at this time is evil. So this is how I represent, so that it helps the reader understand what my way of noting here. His son Nebat from her became king over Israel, and he reigned 3 years. Now, when I go to the king timeline, I have only 2 years here. So somewhere his name, I've changed it a little bit here, because maybe they did just like what they did here, that I did that before. So if I put his name up here, and then I'm going to say like that just for right now and not take this name down. He reigned 2 years because it took me a very long time to get that corrected by our Creator's hidden formats. And I think that's going to come up later, that and I can see the argument that they put for 3, and that's because he reigned 2 years plus some. So they might say it was closer to 3 at that time. So years in, I don't know the place. So I'm going to just say, I'm thinking that Jeroboam made the capital of Israel, the nation Israel, Bethel. But the text is kind of jumpy right now, so it's not really being truthful when I say that. But reigned in and his wife's name because we already have who his mother is, so this has to be corrected by saying, and his wife's name was this. We know this would be she's a daughter, so was Make from this guy's name. Okay, now that is how I'm trying to dig out the mud. Well, let me take a look here. This was actually 22 years. But if this was the 18th year of this guy, that this guy became king, then my text needs to represent that. Now they're trying to say it is this guy's name, and I changed it to his wife's name. Now here is when this guy starts to reign in the 20th year of this guy. So in this guy's 20th year, actually, and I'm not saying it's correct, this guy becomes king here. So it's saying actually the other way around. I had that wrong. In his 20th year, he becomes king. And I show that this timeline is not right that way because it would be moved down in here. It's halfway. Oh, now you can see why it took me so long to do those. The timing. That looks so good right now. But the problem I have is this right here. So to make this true for this group here, it would be after he died. So I'm looking to see if he died. This is Rehoboam dying. See, Jeroboam was a king for 2 10s and 2 years. And here's his son that, yes, ruled in his place. So when I come down here, they're changing everything. So this I have to get rid of because this is absolutely not true. I know that it has to be that he's dying, so this has to be wrong. And now I have this, and now I can say, yes, I got to get rid of this and keep his name. And then it would have been his wife became king over Israel in years, and this is her name. But you notice it went from a 3-verse here, 3-verse format, to a 4-verse format. And that's not good when it does that. But that is a 4-verse format. So he didn't walk, he lived. Like his father. And this, if you know what Jeroboam did, then you know that this is what this means. And he lived like his father Yeah, committed before him. That doesn't make any sense. His heart was not like his father, was not devoted to why they are creator. This before Father David, like his father David. So here, his heart was not devoted to YV, our creator, like his forefather David. He lived like his father, and he in all his sins. He lived like his father in all his sin, and like all his sins. Just a second, I need to get this. Okay. And he lived like his father, committed before him, like in all his sins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this word, get rid of it, put it over here. Then I'm going to take these words, copy them, and then I'm going to make them small, but I'm going to say they're yellow. And that's how I say that I'm going to move those words to here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is take this, and the best way I can do this hasn't happened before, so it's kind of like I got to think of a new way to edit. And because this is being moved, so I guess it doesn't matter where it's at. He lived like his father. And like all the sin, and like all his sin. And this would have to be for this, because I'm getting to this, but in a different way. I'm using this. So yeah, okay, something's gone wrong here. Okay, I forgot to shut that off. Sorry, I looked and I seen two microphones, and that's got to shut one of them off. In all his sin, he lived like his father, making them sin. And this, I have to say, I'm adding, and this, I gotta say, is making. The word all. How can the word all, everyone, most? Because his father made a false god, idol, and told all Israel, the nation, to come here and worship. And this is your creator. So it has to be made. But I'm adding this. I'm really getting rid of this. His father and made them into. First heart was not devoted to YHVH. But now this means, because they're trying to tie this, actually, why did I do all that? Because he lived like his father, for his heart was not devoted. Okay, let me do that then. I don't need this. No, don't need this, this, or this. But this needs to be out. And then just use those four. I overdone it. Sorry. Okay. Confused you, confused me too. So this text isn't important. We know that the prophecy that our Creator gave David, and that's what's being said here differently, but David did what was right in sight. We know that. Did not turn aside, commanded all of that. Except for this, and that is actually false. There was war between Rehoboam and it has to be his son here. Because I believe I have this text already. There were battles between Jeroboam and Rehoboam. Okay, right there. I thought I had that before. So now let me go here and put his name. All the days of his life. And there were there was conflict. They weren't really battles, there was conflict. It's conflict. Maybe because I know that Jeroboam and Rehoboam actually went into a skirmish, and Rehoboam sent money to the king. Here, let me get this map here. Where is it? Let me see here. I don't think I've got it. But up over here is Aram, and he's going to, I think he's going to fortify this, and they're going to battle over this area right here. And he sends messengers up to here for him to come over and attack these two. And then he leaves and he comes and tears down the stuff that was being built up to like a wall that blocking the road that you can't go through there, and put a toll through people. So, and there was conflict. So I'm going to have to say conflict, because he only lived 2 years, so there was not much for him to actually make a battle. See, everything has to be put into truth context, by reasonable understanding of the text. I've been putting actions here lately. I think I left them as acts before, but they're actually actions or works. And all that he did, they are down. Oops, it was gray. In the books, in the book of Chronicles, and King of Judah. So what we've done is we've gone back to a 3-verse. So I gotta note that 4-verse, 3-verse, how can there be war between his son and him? See, they're trying to make this a different king, and that's just, oh, let's see here. And if you're looking for text about going back and seeing how understood how these guys, X-Force, yeah, sorry, I just noticed your post there. Yeah, it's been a while. My dad's in a nursing home, so I haven't been able to post regularly, and it's been going on for a few months, so sorry didn't miss your post there, but yeah, I haven't talked to you in a while. This that he died, but this would be where you would be looking for how they understood life, and it would be that they believed in reincarnation when they're saying slept, just like sleeping with their forefathers. So this isn't needed. And I'm going to put the word then because it smooths out the text. Go here, and they didn't bury him in the city. The prophecy is that his dead body would not even see a grave. In a field. So he just died and they buried him in the field, is the best I can put here. And they buried him in a field. Prophecy is from our Creator, so I can't defy our Creator. Let's see, now this is Asa. His son becomes king in his place. And that's wrong. Because this guy is actually, like I said, this guy is going to kill him. And this is the prophecy that a son from David, which David's too far away, and I'm just connecting it. This line right here, yes, it's questionable, but it's the best guess I can do. Is going to be him. He's going to kill that guy and every one of his family members and relatives as well. So I guess to wait for that text to happen, I've got to say that this is out. And I'll probably put in, or I should put in right now, and I think it would be like saying something like by the prophecy of Ivy. So I'm just going to leave a blank space right now. And now I'm going here. So in the site, well, now here it is in the 220 years. This would be 20 years. Jeroboam, this is when he became king. And Judah was quite a bit long until the very end. They were a good nation, so they get the capital like that. 4. And Asa, ruled as king. So under the timeline that I've got here, how many years is this? If it's 22 here, it can't be in his 20th year down here. And to match the format, this got to be like this. Just grab this one. This comes over here like that. Now what it's looking like, if I do this, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's too many. So I'm going to move this and remove this from meaning 20 and 2 years, and 10 and 20. Let me see, I'm moving that 2 here. In the 12th year for Jeroboam, the king for Israel. Okay, so this, if we know who Jeroboam is, we don't need this text. Now we have a 4 verse. And I believe this is the best way to put that together. Asa reigned 4 10s is 41 years in Jerusalem. Reigned, ruled. And I don't think let's see, 38 years. So this needs to be changed to 3 and 8. And you're just going to have to trust me on these because it would take too long to go through everything I did to line these up. But okay. And he ruled 38 years in Jerusalem. And his wife's name, this is copying the same thing that I've already done right here. And that was to make this guy's wife's name appear. This here can't be true at all. So we'll get rid of that. And Asa was righteous in the eyes of our Creator. Now, righteous means very obedient to our Creator. Okay, so now in the site, like David, his forefather, and he put away the male cult prostitutions from the land. Male cults, I could call them faggots. Because they were to kill them according to our Creator's laws. So and he removed all well, his father didn't make him because he was, so this is wrong. This would be wrong. That would be wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. Yeah, so if they didn't put away, you'd have to kill them. That was the law, so it has to be killed. So he also killed their idols. Okay. So this word, I'm going to put down queers for the simple fact that even like we have today, queers means both males and females. So he also killed the queers from the land. Asa, queers in, and it's not the land, it's Judah. So let me get that. He also killed the queers in Judah and removed their idols. That doesn't mean their idols, it means other people had other idols for worshiping in Judah here. I don't think his mother would have done that. In fact, they're still bringing this woman's name up. He removed their idols, but they're ALTA altar places. I guess I don't need this here at all. Asa was willingly devoted to YV all his days. Good. He brought into the house the dedicated things of his father. No, this is all, this has to already exist. He doesn't have his own dedicated things that can go in there. If he's righteous unto our Creator, he is obeying our Creator to the fullest extent. So Now there were war between. Here's that guy's name. Let me check the timeline again. Now this guy's going to be here for 15 years. So it's only going to be him. In 15 years, he's got the time. Okay. Yeah, here's the battle that's going to take place I mentioned earlier. This word, there was conflict between. So now this, there was conflict between. Now I need this, but how does that? I make this, this, then this isn't needed. Okay, because they're going to talk about the conflict here. Okay. Now there was conflict between Asa and Bathsheba, king for Israel. Oops. Need to get the word Israel over here correctly. Baasha, we already know who he is. Judah is the nation, Judah. Yes, Judah. Now, the weird thing about Rama is over here, I think, somewhere. Let me, no, where is Ramal? Okay. Shiloh is no longer in existence, really. It becomes a city. The tent for meeting is now in Jerusalem. And this is the borderline between Judah and Israel. So they might have fortified this city, fortified. Or this conflict means that he blocked off all these roads and made them pay toll to go from one to the other. In order to prevent anyone from going out or coming in to Judah. So let me correct this. coming from going out or coming into Jerusalem. Okay. Okay, now if he went up against Judah, fortified the roads, and blocked the roads, that means going out or coming to here. So this wrong, this I'm adding, this I added. Fortified would mean blocked, like, or prevented, or prevent. So I'm not going to. Okay, I guess I'm going to say that. Went up. Went to be. That way I don't have this word. I got this word and this word. And this guy went to be against Judah by blocking the roads in order to stop anyone from going out or coming to Judah. And I'm going to use this word, but I'm going to leave it that way in that color for a while. And then later you'll see that appear, but they actually got it right for once. Now, I don't think it was gold. Then Asa took silver. They made articles out of gold. They didn't, the money to be spent was pieces of silver. So took silver. And what he's going to do is he's going to hire this king, make a treaty with him, and then break your treaty with this guy. So this here, then Asa took silver. From this isn't making sense here. I guess I got to use in gold. Gold. From his treasury. Oh, I got one. And they didn't have it here in this house. And I've got 3 verse, I've got 3 verse, so 3 verse there. We know that the treasury, if you understand it, the treasury would be in the king's house, and it would most likely be in the basement. They would have dug down or something to create a treasury room. Let's see here. Okay. And delivered gave. It's almost like a crossword puzzle trying to, or a, what is it? Crossword puzzle? Yeah. Trying to figure out what these words really mean. And gave them, well, that's cool. I got that there. To is, and sent them, so they can't be servants. They have to be important. Guards. Guards would be servants, but guards would be a force of guards is what's going to do, because when you're carrying gold and silver, and I don't know how much he's going to give them, but that is going to be, has to be, the guards have to have that control. He gave them to his guards. Sent them to Ben Hadid. Ben Hadid, or whatever. Now, there's something here that I got to show you. That the kings for Israel, or this Aram, this guy we've already come across. So now it's going to be his son, his son. And the way I noted it is that to make sure people understood, I put this hyphen between these names. So this guy story was already that he became a marauder. He went up and started gathering people to become the leader in Damascus, and they were paying tribute to Solomon. And now this guy is his son in his place. So come here, put this here, and now you know the story about this guy, where he's come from. And they are still paying, no, I guess now at this time, they have stopped paying tribute and they become a people. So, oops, I don't want that. I wanted that button. Because at Solomon's time, Aram is way up here, and this is, all these were paying tribute and taxes to Jerusalem, And what we have is now the years of Solomon was 60. He's 17, so somewhere here, maybe 80, 90 years later, roughly estimated here, is now got a king up there. See, this is wrong. I just got done explaining that it's this guy. And I need a 3 verse here. Okay, now that makes that right. Who lived in Damascus? I'm not saying requesting. Let's see, I didn't need any of these words. Requesting a treaty between you and me. And these are the two subjects, one here and one here. He's just part of the subject here. And there was no treaties between them. That's actually written down, so don't need to be there. Behold, I have sent. This would have to be now. I have sent to you silver and gold. Well, I'm glad I got both of them in up above, otherwise they'd gone back. Okay, to break your treaty. Israel. Is withdraws from me. Okay, so that he is drawn away from me. Drawn away from me. And with now here's Naphtali. I was telling you about that, but it also, see, they got the word Dan here, and that's wrong. This has got to be East Manasseh. And that's to represent, when speaking of land, as the promised land for this tribe. Oops. This is 3 verse. I don't need this. Yes. Cities 4. No, I guess I can just copy all this. And conquered and took. A lot of times I'm replacing words like this just to help 12-year-olds to read the text. And this is this is not right, but this is the wrong. This is east. So this NASA. I can't remember that far. That was too long ago. I can't remember that. Yeah, 2 A's. There. This is this this has got to be all wrong. And besides all, no, either he took East Manasseh, but not the land for Naphtali. Okay, so, and that is because of the, well, from our creator's hidden format, Naphtali didn't. But what happened is Aram came in here and took East Manasseh, and he would have been battling here. So, and he took, I'm going to say he took this to do this, and that Now you can see here. Okay. So, not the land for Naphtali. Okay. Save that. This I don't need. Now this here, fortifying, what did I have here? Blocking the road. And this would have been there, and then he went up and he helped me here. So this is a continuation of what had ended. But this, how do they put it back up here? This is how clever how this writer did this. He ceased from Mesa. This is stones they could have used to block the road, and the timber to block the roads. Okay. I can use the word flat. Has to be built up. Um, hmm. This is Benjamin to this city. See, that's where the city is the best I can locate it here. And this here is Benjamin. So this would be, okay, maybe I don't need that. None was exempt, that is, doesn't need it. This has got to be his army. So carried away is one word is remove. So I'm thinking here, whoops. Then Asa made Judah's army remove the stones and timber that Baasha had built up. Oh, long Benjamin. So this here is added. This okay. That pretty much just finds that map. Stones and timber from the roads. I got the roads here. Timber he had built up along Benjamin. The rest of the actions by Asa and all that he did are written down in the book of Chronicles. The kings for Judah in the books got to put the word and here, and the king for Judah, or yeah. Okay, better save all that work. Been a while. In his old age, he had diseased feet. And Asa died. Buried with his forefathers. By the city of come on. I still can't spell Bethlehem. Reigned. Now this is kind of odd because these are like two verses in the middle, and this is like it's missing a verse to me, because it doesn't connect that well with up here. So I'm going to divide it here so that there's, and then say there's a verse missing there, and then this here. Then we find out he didn't have diseased feet at that time that he died. And I'm thinking, though, that I had this in our Creator's Hidden format. So no, he had feet that were diseased. Make it read smooth. I need this word. Now comes another time that this guy became king. Where's my timeline? I need, oops. Not much help, but this guy is here. No, this guy here in about that year. Because we just got done talking about them taking over, and the story's been about him. So when did he become king? Now, here's the 2 years that I knew was going to come up in the text. Been fighting him. But hear the story as he's died, and then what's happened here. How this just says he became king. There's no death for that guy yet. So here, now if I just do this in the get rid of this in the years for Asa. 'Judah, he ruled 2 years. I knew it was going to be there. I just didn't know when it was going to show up in the text. Okay, that's a 4 verse. That's a 4 verse. Did evilness. Like his fathers. No, like his father. Did evil like a father in the sight of YHVH. And lived. This is what I already did when I put like his father here. And he did evilness. So I guess, well, let's see. Oops. This is where I gotta add like. Now this becomes actually a 3 verse when I do this. Or I don't need this. and lived like his father. And wait a second. Like his father's, like his father sinned with the was he made. Well, let's see here. He made Israel sin too. So he lived his life. Like his father sinned with the idols he made, Israel sin too. And that's the two verses. Then, but there's four stuck out in the middle. It's a now this is where I had Solomon, the son from Solomon, because you have to pay attention to what our Creator's prophecy was about him. I don't have time to go back, but you have plenty of time to go back. And this is where I'm putting this line in here. And you'll see that that's the best reason for this is right now. And the men from Issachar it has to be with. No, Issachar. Joined against him. No, I don't know if that's true. If this is 3, and then this would be unknown. Struck him down is to kill him. We don't need to know the place. And the Philistines, this is so goofy. Okay. The Philistines are way down here. Ezekar is here. Okay. So, see, Ezekar is here. And that's, so now you know, or I know this is wrong. This is the only place I can tie his name, I believe, here. Or just have to say that the word, because with the men from Ezekar joined, but I gotta, they killed this guy here. How come his name's not being mentioned up in here? Word him is really this guy's name. So the reader has to know this. This I can't say anymore is true. Siege. Siege is to set up, and this would be fortified, and this isn't true. Ugh. I hate these. I get heated all of these things. And I've got to get going here. How much more do I have to go? I've got too many. I got to break this in part because I've got to leave, and that's not good. But I have to leave. This has got to be part 1 and part 2. I'm sorry. But that's the way it goes. I got to figure this out, but I just realized I got to get going. Got to get back up to the nursing home here. So I have to call it quits here, and I will say that this here is got to be part 2 of this. And it's going to be a quick one, but it's got to be said that way and done that.